buddy alertwolf to give you another anime review, and this time I'm reviewing Henneko The Hentai and the Stone Cat episode 6. Now, or excuse me, episode 5. And this one is called Goodbye My Home. Now, before I get into it, this is the comedy I'm choosing. You know what? There was a couple that I could have done. This one just makes me laugh, and there's a small part of me that if you search hentai on YouTube to pull me up. I don't know. There's a small part of me that gets a kick out of that. But yeah, and it's hilarious. It is pretty funny at times. So Yokoto or Yokiera, right? So Yokoto or Yototo. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Yokodera, right? That's the dude's name. And basically it starts off exactly where the last episode ends off, with him basically standing in front of his house like, oh man, he's completely gone. And so he calls his buddy. Buddy thinks he's joking, and he's trying to figure out who he can talk to. So he was gonna call Azuna or Azuki, yeah, Azuki, but she's on vacation. So then he decides to call Tsukiko, who he calls Little Sis, and he calls her up, and he has her come there and to show her that he has no house. And then she's like, well, you can stay with me. He's like, alright. It starts raining. So at one point, after they get off the bus, he decides to carry her. And so he carries her and runs all the way to the house. She is mad at him for picking him up like a little girl, and then she bites him a bunch of times, which is pretty funny. He's like, why are you biting me? And then he sneezes because, it's a little cold. So she invites him in. They go inside. And she invited him to spend the night, And he's like, oh, I'll take a bath. And then he's like, you can bathe with me. She's like, nope. So he gets in the bath. And he's like waiting. Because in his head, this is those scenes where the chick bursts in by accident, and and they have one of those moments. But so he's in there for a while. Now at the same time, we also get flashes of a back and forth with Azuna and her trip with her friends. And you know what? Let me just get the friend part out of the way. So the friends, basically, she goes away and she's super waiting on his phone call and all that. Sorry. And she's super anxious, and her friends figure out real fast that they're not the ones she wants to be with this vacation with, and she wants to be with the main dude, Yoki-dera. One of these days I'm gonna get this name right. And basically that's because she likes him. And she even says she thinks he's the coolest guy in the universe and whatnot. And so there's a bunch of funny scenes just watching her panic over the phone call and crazy stuff like that. And then there's even a flashback where they figure out that he completely misunderstood what she wanted, because she kept saying she had no one to go with, and he thought it would be cool if they reconnected, because he was looking out for her. He thought it would be a good idea. So they quickly figure that one out. And as she's describing, what she wants out of him, or what he's really like and why she likes him, one of her friends passes out. They end up taking her back to the hotel doctor, who says that she's just caught a little cold and she just needs a good night's rest. And she wakes up. They wake up together, all three of them curled up onto each other. And what wakes them up is a phone call from our protagonist, who was calling her up to talk. And that's, and she apologizes for leaving without talking about it, and they all make up. And so that's her story. And again, the stuff with her waiting for a phone call was hilarious. Alright, now let's go back to him in the house. So, he's in the house. He hears, finally, after all this time, and he's overheated, he hears some scuffling going on, and he thinks the chick, his chick may be in trouble, Tsukiko, or whatever. And then it turns out it's just her and her sister arguing. And he walks out completely naked, just completely naked. And he's like, what? And the sisters get scared and she falls back and he comes at her. And he's like, he couldn't help it because his shame is still missing, because he traded it away. So he still doesn't have any shame. So there were a lot of like elephant jokes here, and I was cracking up. And then she ties him up in a futon, and there's this whole joke, she's never letting him out. And she's like, oh, just wait 10 minutes, it'll be fine, the younger sister. And so 10 minutes goes by, and the older sister, his captain for the track team, is like sleeping on top of him, and she wants to cuddle with him, and she's calling her the sister's name, and she cries a little in her sleep. And so he goes outside, I guess he goes to the bathroom, and this is when he makes that call. Now on his way back, he figures, he sees that the bathroom light's still on for the bathhouse, and he's like, oh man, I guess I left that shit on, I better go turn it off. So when he opens it up, there's the younger sister again bathing, and she thinks it's her older sister, and it's pretty funny. And he walks in and he trips over stuff, and when he tries to get out, there's the older sister furious at him, and so he's running away. He ends up running into the spare house, I guess, a guest house, and as he gets into the guest house, starts noticing all his stuff is there, and that's when he realizes, and he sees the stone. There's the stone cat with a ominous look on his face, because whenever he does anything magical, his face changes, So he's like, oh man, well, I think this was all part of his plan, and this is how the episode ends. Now, because this is a comedy, I'm gonna rate this on like story progression a little bit, and anyway, sorry about that. Because this is a comedy, I'm gonna rate this on story progression, and and how funny it was. Basically, if this could make me laugh out loud, then it worked. And so I'm gonna give this episode a 3 out of 5. It was a good episode. I cracked up. There was a lot of funny situations in there, so I completely enjoyed it. And that's the whole thing about this anime. I really do enjoy it. It makes me laugh. It's funny. It's lighthearted. There is some serious tones where he does try to help people out, but it's pretty good. So yeah. And again, I really do enjoy the series, so I'm going to be bringing you the rest of them. So, I think episode 6 comes out in like 2 days, so this will be a late 5, and then in a few days I'll bring you episode 6 when it drops. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please, please, please subscribe if you can. And this is your buddy Alertwolf signing out.